In the heart of Africa, where stories were once woven under the moonlight, a trickster spun his web across time. Imagine a village nestled deep within the lush forests of Ghana. The air is thick with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. Distant drums beat a steady, hypnotic rhythm. Around a crackling fire, elders gather, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames. Children sit at their feet, eyes wide with anticipation, hushed by the magic of the coming tale. This is where legends were born. This is where the world first learned the name Anansi, the spider, the keeper of tales, the god of cunning. He was more than just a creature, he was a force of nature, a clever and mischievous spirit, whose influence would stretch far beyond the firelight. The stories told on these nights were not mere entertainment, they were the threads that held the community together, weaving history, morality, and culture into a single, intricate tapestry. And at the center of this vast, shimmering web was Anansi. He was a paradox, a hero and a villain, a wise teacher and a greedy fool. His tales were a mirror reflecting the complexities of human nature. Shower door doan, or dobrin, anindon rening. How brain dour, are dot bar. Intelligence could triumph over brute strength, and how even the smallest creature could outwit the most powerful gods. To truly understand Anansi, we must travel to his birthplace, the lush, verdant heart of West Africa. His stories first took root among the Akan people of modern-day Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, a people with complex social structures, intricate art, and profound philosophical traditions. Here, Anansi was not merely a character in a children's story, he was a central figure in their cosmology, a deity woven into the very fabric of daily life. His name, Anansi, is the Akan word for spider, his form a small, seemingly insignificant creature with deep symbolic meaning. The sky god Nyame reigned supreme, omnipotent but distant. Anansi often acted as an intermediary, a messenger, traversing between the heavens and the earth, and between the gods and humanity. His tales sprang from everyday Akan life, farming, trading, family dynamics, and village politics. The preservation of Anansi's legacy was not achieved through written texts, but through the vibrant and dynamic art of oral performance. The performance was an interactive experience, breaking the barrier between narrator and listeners. Visual symbolism embedded Anansi into the cultural consciousness. His form appeared everywhere in Akan art. These performances and symbols were the lifeblood of Anansi's existence, a living constitution passed by fireside storytelling, ensuring the tales would survive for generations. Long ago, the world was a void of silence, a place without the warmth of stories. All the tales were owned by the great sky god, Nyame. He kept them locked away in a golden box, hoarding them like precious jewels. But down below, one small creature looked up at the sky with immense ambition. This was Anansi the Spider. He climbed to Nyame's kingdom and asked to buy the stories. To humor him, Nyame set an impossibly high price. "Bring me 3 things," the sky god boomed. Moboro, the hornets who sting like fire, Onini, the great python, and Osebo, the elusive leopard. Anansi did not flinch. He knew he could not fight them, but his greatest weapon was his mind. "I will bring you your price," he declared. First, he tricked the hornets. Using a gourd and a clever lie about a coming storm, he convinced the entire swarm to trap themselves. Next, he preyed on the great python's vanity. He argued that the snake was not as long as a bamboo pole. Eager to prove his might, the python allowed Anansi to tie him to the pole, only to find himself completely bound and helpless. Finally, for the cunning leopard, he set a trap. He dug a deep pit, luring the predator into it with its own arrogance. Anansi returned to the heavens, his impossible price paid in full. He had proven that wit was more powerful than rage, vanity, or brute strength. Awed, Nyame awarded him the golden box. "Take them," he said, "and share them with the people of Earth." Anansi opened the box, and the stories flew out, finding their way into the hearts and minds of the people. He had stolen stories from a god, and in doing so, had given humanity its voice, its history, and its soul. But Anansi's triumph fed his vanity. He decided to gather all the world's wisdom and hoard it for himself in a clay pot. He tried to hide the pot at the top of the tallest tree, but with the pot on his chest, he could not climb.
"Father, wouldn't it be easier if you tied the pot to your back?" His son offered the simple solution. In a fit of frustrated pride, Anansi smashed the pot.
His personal failure became a gift to the world. The wisdom was scattered, teaching that knowledge is not a possession to be owned, but a resource that grows only when it is shared. Anansi's tales functioned as a social blueprint, subtly reinforcing the values and norms of the community. Through his failures, children learned the consequences of greed and laziness, and the importance of cooperation and hard work. His constant challenges to authority served as a check on power, reminding rulers that their authority was not absolute and that they could be held accountable by the cleverness of the common folk. The stories became the glue of society, a living constitution that bound the community together with a shared history and a common set of values. The story of Anansi does not end in the forests of West Africa. His web, woven from memory and spirit, proved to be far stronger than any physical chain. Carried in the hearts and minds of enslaved Africans during the transatlantic slave trade, the stories lived on, a secret and unbreakable thread connecting the displaced to their homeland. Anansi's struggles took on a new, urgent significance. His cunning was no longer just wit, it was a blueprint for resistance, a psychological weapon against masters who saw their captives as mere property. The stories were a reminder that even when the body is in chains, the mind can remain free, clever, and defiant. In the New World, Anansi adapted. In the Caribbean, he remained Anansi, his tricks becoming bolder, his triumphs more cathartic against the backdrop of the plantation. In the American South, Anansi underwent his most famous transformation. The spider became a rabbit. Anansi's spirit was reborn as the iconic character of Br'er Rabbit. The setting changed, but the core narrative was the same. A small, seemingly defenseless creature using his sharp intellect to outsmart his stronger enemies. This transformation shows the incredible resilience of oral tradition, proving that the web of stories could not be broken, only rewoven to fit a new world. The threads of Anansi's web have been woven deeply into the fabric of modern literature, creating a rich tapestry that stretches across continents and genres. In Neil Gaiman's American Gods, he appears as Mr. Nancy, a charismatic old god using his storytelling prowess to deliver powerful critiques of racism and the lingering wounds of slavery. On screen, his spirit has been adapted into everything from electrifying icons of Black resilience to educational heroes for the youngest of minds. In the 21st century, Anansi's web has expanded into the digital world. The internet, a vast network of information, is a modern-day analog to his mythical web. For a new generation, Anansi has emerged as a potent symbol of resilience, a reminder that one can fight back against injustice not with force, but with creativity, strategy, and the power of a shared story. He represents the right to define one's own identity, and to ensure that the richness of one's cultural heritage is preserved and passed on with authenticity and pride. Long after the fires have burned out and the storytellers have gone silent, the web of Anansi still shimmers in the minds of those who listen. His whisper endures, a story for anyone who has felt small in a large world, anyone who believed a clever idea could change their fate. The web never truly breaks, it simply waits for a new voice, a new ear. If you enjoyed this journey through African mythology, leave a comment sharing your favorite trickster tale. Like, share, and subscribe. And join us next time as Legends and Lore unravels another ancient mystery.